Hello, everyone. My name is Sahi Padmanabhan, and I'm going to be talking to you about LGBT music culture. Because LGBT music culture is so wide and varied in different areas, I decided to focus on LGBT music culture specifically in Chicago. Chicago is culturally significant when it comes to LGBT music because Boys Town, the officially designated gay neighborhood in Chicago, is the first of its kind. Despite the fact that places like the Castro in San Francisco and Chelsea in New York were already de facto LGBT towns, Boys Town was the first to be officially called a gay village. LGBT music isn't differentiated by style so much as content, so there's a lot of variation between different types of LGBT music. There is what could be considered LGBT music across different genres and time periods, stretching back decades in Chicago to the blues movement. One such blues musician who wrote LGBT music before the expansion of LGBT music as a scene was Ma Rainey, often called the mother of the blues. Her song Prove It On Me is often cited as the first recorded lesbian song, and Rainey herself was a bisexual. Another blues musician now famous for her sexually progressive music was Bessie Smith, who wrote the Foolish Man's Blues, which was largely based on her experiences in the LGBT culture of the 1920s. Both of these artists were part of the burgeoning LGBT scene in Chicago, as well as the blues scene of the 1920s, largely originating in Bronzeville, which was the only neighborhood open to black residents at the time. As a result, Bronzeville also became a place that was much safer for LGBT people to be able to congregate, because of artists such as these eroding the stigmas around being LGBT at the time. Since then, LGBT themes have been largely influential in music, especially in Chicago, from jazz artists of the 40s to rock stars of the 60s. However, in the 1970s, especially with the designation of Boys Town as the gay neighborhood, a new kind of LGBT music cropped up. Music ensembles specifically for LGBT members. These music groups started with bands, largely because there was a deep desire to have a marching band in the annual Gay Pride Parade. Originally, the group was called the Chicago Gay Pride Band, and after many iterations is now called the Lakeside Pride Marching Band, which is a part of the Lakeside Pride music ensembles. Among these music ensembles, there is also a symphonic band, an orchestra, a jazz ensemble, and various chamber groups as well. Along with the bands, there were a few choral groups that started in Chicago, including the Windy City Gay Men's Chorus as well as the Artemis Singers, a group aimed towards lesbian members. These groups proved to be extremely important to LGBT culture in Chicago because they provided a space for LGBT people to congregate and meet one another without the sexually charged tension that would be prevalent in many bars and nightclubs, which was the only other place at the time for LGBT people to meet each other. Danny Kopelson, one of the founding members of the Chicago Gay Men's Chorus, said, "Before all the choruses, there was not a lot of opportunities for gays and lesbians to be together. They gave a creative opportunity to people who all loved music and theater in high school, but never went on with it as a career. The beauty of it was it brought diverse groups and people of different ages together who never would have met in bars." The LGBT music scene proved to be important for many different cultural reasons, such as bringing people together who normally would not have met, to even breaking the boundaries and stigmas around being a part of the LGBT community. This culture was imperative for the growth of the LGBT community in Chicago, as well as in other cities that had similar music scenes. So that's all I have for this presentation. Here are my works cited, and thank you for listening.